What is going on, guys? Or late evening, and today we're gonna be replacing the steering wheel. Apparently this one have a whole bunch of scuffs at the top and the bottom doesn't look good. Airbag needs to be cleaned up. I need to remove it. Before removing anything or working with SRS system, we wanted to disconnect the battery. So in my case, I purchased the steering wheel from the junkyard. Steering wheel itself looks pretty good. You're gonna see it in a second. But I also wrapped the buttons right. You can see it right here. They looks pretty good. The matte black finishing. Instead of painting, I decided to go a different route. It's not perfect, but up to me, it looks pretty darn good for spending like 15-20 minutes per piece. Definitely painting is much faster, and I would say like a little better because the paint gonna lay as every single angle and it's gonna cover every single spot. But you know, trying new things here and then. Before disconnecting, I would suggest you pull the steering wheel out a little, since it's gonna be much easier to deal with that. And on top of that, we're gonna be able to clean it. Also, the steering wheel has to be dead center. There are actually notch that you're not gonna mess it up installing the steering wheel, but after all, you don't really want it to mess it up anything anyway. Inside of the trunk, above the shelf right here, and underneath that plastic bath, whatever, there's gonna be 2 screws at the bottom, 1 screw right here, 2 more screws right here, and I think 1 more, or maybe that's it. Simply lift it up and we have our negative terminal. Gonna need to remove it. Also nice to mention, if you don't have the keyhole, and basically this car does not, means the actuator is electronic. You wanted to make sure that you're not gonna close the trunk. I mean, it's not big of a deal, but I have a whole bunch of stuff in the car, so that's gonna be quite a challenge to get to the emergency release. For that procedure, we need a flathead, and we're gonna need to pinch the hole in the steering wheel. You're gonna see it, it's actually 2 spots. So if you're gonna take a look underneath, there are a little kind of dent in the body of the steering wheel. You wanna pinch the hole in there, and the airbag is right here, so we might need to turn the steering wheel just a little bit, push it flat. So you're gonna feel like a spring tension, and you can pull it on an airbag and kind of let it go. Okay. Anyway, connectors are the same, so I'm not gonna be messing with that anymore. I'm just gonna swap the harness right here and reconnect everything. Same position as this one. So the bolt is pretty tight. I already cranked it loose. I didn't press the record button. After you remove the bolt, there is a little notch in the center, and that's where it's supposed to align. At this point, we can remove the steering wheel, fish the wires through. You're gonna look inside, also another notch, which is the bigger one. Let's put that ugly bastard to the side. At this point, I don't really want to mess with that, and especially like moving anything. So you're gonna use the vacuum cleaner. BMW did everything for you. Make sure you're not going to mess it up. I think the installation is done here. The torque spec is 46 to 48 foot-pound of torque. I lightly tap it. At this point, we can reassemble the steering wheel, which is that purple plug goes into the corner right here. Then the negative goes into that spot right there. There's a little hole and a little screw. And then all of the connectors got to be connected back, which is one of those right here. Also, as reference point, if you can see, we have our hole right at the corner in there. And if we're gonna push it with that angle, I'm gonna push on the spring, and that's what's going to release the airbag. Make sure every single connector is connected, as for example, this one for the heated steering wheel, because buttons is right here, airbag is at the center. But beside that, we need to pop that little connector right here, the purple one. Pretty tight. pretty tight, not too crazy. And then the connector. Click. Last check. Everything seems to be just fine. Align the steering wheel and pushed it on. That's it. So this is a really easy job to replace the steering wheel or pop the airbag, which is not a problem. That vinyl is probably going to be replaced, or am I going to repaint the panels right here, same as the central console. Anyway, until the next time, and the next video is going to be about the seat. We're going to replace the cushion.